YOLO amazing people of YouTube. So I want to talk to you guys about stupid things they do in movies that drives me crazy and will ruin great movies. And if you're a movie person, you might actually know what I'm talking about. I think I better stop the car for this one. So for one, like, I am a smoker, okay? So I smoke, and this is my personal Zippo, all right? I've had it forever, right? Now, unlike what you see in movies, okay, you can't light up a Zippo and use it like a fucking tiki torch through a tunnel for like 10 minutes and shit, you know, or chuck it at fire. You know, it doesn't work that way. Zippos are made out of metal, right? Any lighter, right? Like, you can't just light it and chuck it. It doesn't work that way, okay? And since Zippos are made out of metal, right, when you light it up, after like 5-10 seconds, the Zippo gets fucking hot. You will burn your hand after like 10 seconds of having the fire going. You get what I'm saying? And then in movies, like, right, there's always gasoline in movies. Like, some car is leaking gasoline, and it's a perfect fucking line of gasoline and shit. And then someone just chucks this gasoline and shit. Chucks the lighter at the fucking gasoline, and it just catches these fumes on fire. It doesn't work that way. There's a thing called wind, right? There's a thing called wind. You chuck the lighter, the wind turns the fire off. I know it's a Zippo. I know it's made in America. I love that shit too, but let's be realistic, okay? You just can't fucking chuck lighters into fires, all right? It's kind of dangerous to do that. You're like, imagine how many things would catch on fire if, you know, you light up the Zippo and you drop it and there goes the fucking neighborhood, right? And then another thing, like, so you can't flick a cigarette at fire either, okay? Cigarettes don't burn that hot. They don't burn that hot, believe it or not, all right? You can actually pour gasoline on the floor and throw a cigarette, and the gasoline will turn off the cigarette, okay? It literally does not burn that hot. You can't use it as a timing fuse, all right? Because cigarettes have 3 stripes on them. It's mandatory. They have to have these 3 stripes. That if you're not puffing on the cigarette, when it reaches the stripe, it turns off. The fire turns off your cigarette. You have to relight this shit. They do this because people fall asleep all the time with cigarettes in their hand. All right, and it's just one extra precaution so people don't burn themselves or, you know, melt the couch a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And you can't just fall asleep and burn the house down with a cigarette or flick it at something and, you know, there goes the fucking house. It doesn't work that way. Most everything is fire retardant, all right, including cars. Like, if you're a smoker, you've dropped your cigarette in the car while driving. You could have been trying to flick it out the window, it goes in the back seat, you're on the freeway. It's not gonna burn your car down, all right? Imagine the type of lawsuits. You would be able to sue both the cigarette companies and the car companies and the couch companies and your bed company that made your mattress and all that other shit. Everything is fire retardant. Not retarded, but fire retardant, right? And then this concept of, like, gasoline is coming out of like, right, like it's a straight line, and be a human fucking being. Bend over and light the gasoline like a human being, all right? Stop trying to throw fire at it, all right? You're not that fucking special. Just bend over, light the fucking thing on fire, and unlike in movies, that fire moves slow, all right? Gasoline, lighter fluid, fucking all this stuff, it burns slow. You can walk away from it. Literally, you can light it and walk away from it. That's how slow that fire moves, all right? But in movies, it's like, you know, you got this airplane going, it's leaking jet fuel. This guy lights up his Zippo, chucks it at like 120 miles an hour. The fire goes, the airplane takes off, and then the fire catches up to the fucking airplane in the sky and blows. Like, dude, get the fuck out of here, man. Like, this is some Fast and the Furious bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And then another thing, like, Not that Fast and the Furious are good movies. I mean, for fuck's sake, there's no physics in in Fast and the Furious. Physics just doesn't exist. But for like, goddamn, bro, like, you built this monster of a sports car. All right, it has enough horsepower to lift the front end of your old fucking GTO, right? Which means you're well over 1,000 horsepower. All right, and somehow you have like Toyota Celicas, Honda Civics as like police cars, right? And they're chasing you, and somehow they can keep up with you. All right, that doesn't happen in the real world. Like, it's a myth. All right, police cars aren't that fast. They're not slow cars, don't get me wrong, but they're not fast cars. All right, there's a reason why people go buy Ferraris and Lamborghinis, and they don't go and buy a used police car for like $5,000. All right, because they're not really that fast. Police officers, sheriffs, right? They have an advantage, and the advantage is the radio, right? Because they can radio into the next cop, and then the next cop, and then the next cop. They can't just fucking chase you doing 200 miles an hour and keep up. It doesn't work that way, right? Not in the real world. That's why when you see people running away from police in cars, right? There's like 20, 30 police cars behind them because they kept radioing in ahead and ahead and ahead. And then after the guy passed them, they went behind them. And then it builds up, and you got like half the police force chasing this one prick, hoping he's gonna fucking wipe out, right? And unlike in movies, when they do wipe out, they don't fucking blow up. All right, that shit doesn't fucking happen. It's rare. Not that it can't happen. It does not happen, okay? I did a lot of street racing. You can crash doing like 120 miles an hour. That car is still not gonna catch on fire, all right? Surprisingly, through trial and error, these small companies like Chevy, GM, Toyota, BM, right? Like these tiny little companies, through trial and error, figured out, hey, you know, maybe we should put the gas tank in the safest part of the car. Let's do some analysis. What's the least dangerous portion of the car we can put this in? And they figured it out, right? They figured it out. And the only way a car can actually blow up, right, is if you crash fast enough where you rip either the gas tank away from the car or the engine away from the car. But it can't just break away. It has to, all that gasoline has to literally spray across the sky. And then you see a fireball. It's not an explosion like a fucking grenade or something. Even grenades don't explode like that. They just go off. Boom. Right? It's not like an explosion like, how can I say? You know when you go and buy like natural gas in the can? I forgot what it's called. But yeah, like if you shoot one of those blow up, right? Because you're talking about compressed flammable gas that got ignited, right? Gasoline is not like that. So, man, all these things in movies, bro, it's so fucking crazy, and it ruins great movies. It really fucking ruins great movies, and I could keep going on and on. Like I'm telling you, man, if your primary like character is a smoker, bring in a smoker, have him talk to him. Hey, bro, this is how we hold a cigarette. All right, here's a cigarette, bro. Light it up. All right, you don't have to inhale, motherfucker. You don't have to inhale. Just light it up and hold it. Try and hold it comfortably. You look very uncomfortable, like you're afraid you're gonna burn your fingers or something. You know, this is the way you hold a cigarette, right? This is the way you smoke a cigar, right? Like, I'm not a cigar smoker, well, once in a blue moon, but like, this is the way you smoke a cigar. This is the way you cut a cigar, right? If I'm like playing Suge Knight in a movie, right? Like, I better know how to smoke a fucking cigar and hold a cigar and cut a cigar. You know what I'm saying? It's no different than like if you made a western and the guy has a 6-shooter, right? He has his pistol on his hip, or 2 pistols on his hip, right? He only has 5 or 6 bullets in each gun, all right? He can't have like fucking 50 fucking. What are they doing? Are they fighting? No. You can't just have like, you know, the guy like shoot 50 rounds off, kill 50 people with 5 bullets. It's just Hollywood stupidity, right? I don't know, man. Like, if you're making a great movie, come on, man, do some due diligence, right? It's like if you have a soldier, bring in a fucking soldier, right? Like, I can't make a movie about the Marines and then bring some dude from the Air Force to tell me about the Marines, right? Or if I'm doing a film about the Army, I can't bring in a dude from the Navy. It doesn't work that way, right? Like, bring in some guy that actually, like, lived that life, right? Give you some tips, some pointers, give you some fucking lingo, you know, words they say, phrases, weird shit, cool shit, whatever the fuck. I don't know, man. I'm going on and on, but yeah, Solo, YOLO, BOLO. You guys let me know what you fucking hate about movies in the comment section. But those are the ones that will completely ruin a film for me. Yeah, dude, like immediately I think this was, how's his fingers not burning from holding that Zippo for that long? And how is that Zippo not melted? Yeah, anyways, yeah, Solo, YOLO, BOLO, peace.